This isn't show friends, this is show business. But like, Bailey is so confused about this, she's probably paying $100 a month to her best friend to text her.
Becky Lynch recently dropped a little shot at her former 4-horsewoman stablemate Mercedes Moné. This all beginning around the fact a few days ago Mercedes announced a brand new texting service which would cost $100 a month. As I touched on about a week ago, but since then I've realized it's actually much worse than I thought. Basically, fans can text her privately and have a closer relationship with the CEO. First of all, who is paying for this app? Second of all, do you really think she's the one responding to those text messages? Surely Mercedes hires someone else to reply like they're playing her as the character and just watches the Moné roll in. And I think you'd be insane to think that's not what she's doing. You're either going to be texting her assistant or some kind of AI script, and to me, that is so morally bankrupt. Mercedes, you know damn well how passionate your audience is about you. They worship the ground you walk on. Of course, some impressionable girl is going to pay $100 to speak to you. They want to be friends with you. And then equally on the other side, some older guy is going to spend $100 to text you and build that relationship, and then because of the implication, it's a little problematic. And it just feels like an already incredibly made and successful wrestler is taking complete advantage of her star power. It's especially hypocritical considering how vocal she's been about her hatred of fans waiting for her in airports or in public in general. She's now saying, but hey, if you want to be weird and be my best friend, you just gotta give me a lot of money every month first. And I really wanted to believe that no one would actually sign up to this, but people are already doing so and people are going to continue to do so. I find the advertising art hilarious as well. Hi Mercedes, is Snoop Dogg really your cousin? When did you talk to him last? He is. I saw him in NYC, we had dinner and talked, fam. Cool. Thanks Mercedes, that was really worth my $100. I'm paying $100 to get a we had dinner and talked. Great. What did you talk about? Did you engage in any extracurricular activities? What did you do, Mercedes? But anyway, here's another one. Hi, Mercedes. What are you doing today? I'm with my dog trainer, tying to potty train Bugs Bunny. That's a typo on this service that will cost you $100 a month. But wait, there's another one. Mercedes, were you really hurt in your match with Momo? 100%. Her kicks bruised my throat and I couldn't speak for 2 days. Well, thank God for the Mercedes Moné app, because now she doesn't even need to speak. She can just spend her days texting away with you, her favorite fans. This game makes me sick. There's another example here where Mercedes responds to a fan with a selfie. Hey Mercedes, what are you doing today?
What's Mercedes doing? Don't know.
That answer about her tying her dog is looking pretty good now, huh? Can you imagine if you asked her, what was it like to main event WrestleMania, and she just responded with a Drake standing up clapping gif? The description of the app also says this: my super fans have always been my super friends. Now, like friends, they can text me directly and privately. I'm so excited to finally be able to connect this way. Sign up and text me now. Mercedes. If you really wanted to, you could have done this on Instagram, or God, not for $100? $100 to talk to Mercedes Mone AI. It is truly so scummy. Like, her super fans have never been her super friends. That's not how being a celebrity works. And in general, I've always found her relationship with her fans to be a little exploitive. Her diehard fans were there for her through thick and thin, while she continues to take advantage of their love. And this is just the latest step in that. I'm not saying that she doesn't love her fans entirely, I'm sure she does, but is there a part of Mercedes that takes advantage of them and knows what she's doing? Absolutely. Now I know, on the other hand, Mercedes has had her fair share of weird fan interactions.
I was New Japan Wrestling training you. I know that you had left WWE because of the creative issues. So
is that the reason?
That's what I read.
Oh, that's what you read. You weren't there. So no.
So what's the real reason?
Why would I tell you? Why would I just tell you?
I want to know.
You ain't gonna see my interview. You ain't gonna read my book. You ain't gonna see me in the future.
I do all of that. Yeah.
All right, then just wait. We're next friends, but you are. Then you just wait.
I got you.
Okay, cool. Thank you, JJ. Appreciate you. Keep on reading your fiction books, okay? What are we signing?
Listen to her, don't listen to yourself.
In this situation, fans can be a little too invasive with things, and every wrestler is entitled to saying, okay, that's none of your business and I have my privacy. I get it. But equally, I guess you could say it was fairly harmless what that guy did and you didn't have to crash out on him. Of course, you shouldn't read everything you see online and take it as gospel. But it's okay, guy, because now you can pay $100 and get your real answer on why she left the WWE. Although, Mercedes, if I paid to take a photo with you and waited in a queue for a while and you socially distanced like this, I might crash out. What you did didn't hear Mercedes saying right there was, why would I tell you? For free. Sign up today. It also doesn't sit right with me that a lot of the people signing up are probably quite vulnerable in terms of not quite understanding that you're not going to be talking to her most of the time. It's no secret that people develop parasocial relationships with musicians, celebrities, wrestlers all the time. Mercedes is one of the biggest stars to suffer from people doing that to her. And hey, maybe sometimes on this app it is actually going to be Mercedes talking to you, but realistically that's like 5 to 10% of the time. And so you've got to pick a side. Either you're completely anti people being too invasive and personal, or you're okay with being close with your fans. Because you don't get to go ahead and take advantage of a bunch of vulnerable fans who are going to say, oh, well, she's changed her stance now. Now I can go ahead and be personal and weird. Because once it backfires on you, you're not gonna like it. Because in no way is it okay to say, no, we need to establish a boundary now, and then come out and say, but if you pay me, then it's okay, we'll forget the boundary. I have zero respect for it and zero time for it. You're already a millionaire, you don't need to do this. And somehow this is kind of worse than any kind of crypto scam she could have promoted. I feel like a Monet coin would have been less morally corrupt. At least when you're making a coin, you're taking advantage of dumb bros looking to get rich quickly, but this is preying on sad, lonely fans. And for those of you who are going to say, oh, but she's in character, she's the CEO, this is what she does. Am I paying in kayfabe money? It's completely corny and extremely carny. I don't think Mercedes is the devil. I don't hate Mercedes Moné. I just think this is extremely poorly judged. Coming up, of course, Mercedes has to get ready for her finals match in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament as she looks to earn a women's title shot at All in Texas.
Mercedes Moné looking to gain any edge, any advantage ahead of her clash with Jamie Hayter at Double or Nothing in the finals.
And it builds into a bigger issue with Mercedes for a lot of people. Not only has she took advantage of her fans, but she's also completely took advantage of her swing outside of WWE. Between the undefeated streak, winning damn near every title, never really putting anyone over, I mean, when is enough enough?
Money changes everything.
I think even Becky, while partially being jovial, knows the way Mercedes is moving is completely ridiculous too. I still think she's one of the greatest wrestlers to ever do it, and it's certainly not like I'm never going to talk about her again. She's had so many classics, and what she's done and continues to do for the women's evolution as a black woman in this sport will never be forgotten.
This is an historic moment. For the first time ever, two black women have a title match in the main event at WrestleMania. Banks versus Belair for the title.
Even when she walked out of WWE in 2022 with Naomi, I could completely understand where they were coming from. I mean, hell, with the way WWE treats their women's tag division nowadays with all these releases, I'd walk out again.
Do I plan on returning to you-know-where soon? No.
I also came across something on her website called Moné Mag, but at least it kind of fits in with her character, and seemingly, if you take the time to read through even one article, it's very much her as the CEO character. Oh, and this doesn't cost $100 a month, it's completely free. But equally, a lot of the things she's done since she left WWE and joined AEW and New Japan crosses the line between being a character and hypocritically taking advantage of an industry you're trying so hard to change. And morally, I think she needs to do better.